over to you.
Lovely. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Well, I'm really excited and honoured to be here. Dave, always love working with you. Dave's spoken at my events. I hold a health event, and it was a real pleasure to have you over. So thank you. I'm really excited to be on this webinar and to share with you all today the 5 steps to becoming more alkaline for abundant health without depriving yourself of tasty foods and keeping it as simple as possible. Because that's what we all want, right? We want the holy grail of being healthy, energetic, vital, but not having to sacrifice, the foods we like. So that's what this webinar is going to be all about today. And I'm going to teach you this by showing you how I went from being sick, overweight, a smoker, to a vibrant, super healthy ultra marathon runner. And I regularly get told I look 10 years younger than my age. And I'm not telling you this to impress you, just to say that this is what you can achieve with the alkaline diet. So I'll just give you a kind of brief introduction about who I am. So I'm known now as a world leader in the alkaline diet. I've been running an alkaline diet website since 2008. And I've helped tens of thousands of people worldwide to improve their health naturally through my website. I've got around about 20,000 people subscribed and customers to that website. So I've worked with a lot of people around the world. I'm creator and author of the Alkaline 5 Diet book and Alkaline Diet Vitality Coaching course. And I'm founder of the Natural Health and Vitality Conference, which Dave came and spoke at a couple of years ago. And I've used the knowledge that I've gained of natural health to become an endurance athlete. I've run over 50 races, including 12 marathons, and I'm training for an ultra marathon at the moment. So it's like the beauty of it is the alkaline diet has really enabled me to take my fitness level to a level that I never ever could have dreamed of, really. And I worked as a medical health manager in our leading UK health organisation for a number of years. So I got a really good insight into how kind of mainstream medicine and conventional wisdom on health and disease, that kind of angle, as well as the more natural health side. So I've got quite a balanced perspective on all of this. And I'm just in the last few weeks of my nutritionist course. So I'm becoming a qualified nutritionist as well. Now, before we get into the presentation, I just want to let's just set a few kind of parameters here. So, because I really want you to get the best out of this presentation. So, if you're at home, if you're in the UK, it's like 10 p.m. So just make sure that the TV's off. Turn off your phone. Give yourself this hour and a half. Dedicate some time to your health, because the stuff that you're going to learn on this presentation is not the type of things that you're going to hear in the mainstream media. It's unlikely. But if you implement these 5 things, then this is your insurance policy to leading a very healthy life in an unhealthy world, because make no mistake, we're in an unhealthy world at the moment. Laws are being relaxed all the time over in Brussels around nutrition and food labeling. You're probably aware about food labeling standards. Things like genetically modified foods are, a lot of people are lobbying for them not to be labeled as genetically modified, and there's all sorts of other things going on. So we need to be aware of certain things that we can do for our health to ensure longevity, health, energy, vitality for ourselves and our family into the future. So here's what you're going to learn during this presentation. You're going to learn the key to having much more energy, even in the afternoons and without caffeine. We're all used to that afternoon slump, especially if you work a 9-to-5 job in the afternoons. You have your lunch and you get that energy dip. Well, I'm going to show you how you can have sustained energy without caffeine. You're going to learn the astounding fact about the alkaline diet and cancer that was discovered in the 1920s by Nobel Prize winning scientists, but ignored by mainstream medicine. And this is really quite groundbreaking stuff. You're going to discover how you can prevent or even reverse heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, memory loss, fatigue, and many forms of cancer with the right foods. You know, foods are the best medicine around, and if you eat right, then you've got a really good head start on tackling a lot of these big diseases that we see so commonly in our Western world. You're going to learn how to turn off your fat genes. Yes, we have fat genes, and this kind of blew my mind when I discovered this, when I found this out, and this works because as someone, for me, even running long distances like I do, for years, it wasn't effortless to lose weight, whereas now I know the principles of how to turn these fat genes off. Losing weight is effortless. It really is, and it can be for you as well. So I'm going to tell you about this a little later. And you're going to discover the new way to eat healthily and eliminate cravings for junk food. So why is this important to you now? Well, type 2 diabetes is devastating tens of millions of lives all around the world, and science tells us it can be prevented. So there's something not quite adding up here, because government and industry are not really taking any helpful action. They're providing a lot of drugs, a lot of medications that don't cure these diseases, but keep people on these drugs long term, providing a lot of money for the medical industry and the government, but not actually presenting any kind of cure or real solution. Hospitals are full of people with food allergies. Food allergies have tripled in the last 20 years. Genetically modified organisms are in 75% of the foods on supermarket shelves, which is quite devastating news, really. Genetically modified foods have been linked very heavily with things like cancer and other degenerative diseases. Many scientists believe that GMOs have not been proven safe and can even be toxic, and yes, this is proven to be the case. Billions have been spent on finding a cure for cancer. We hear this all the time, right, on the TV and those cancer ads. We're looking for a cure. It's their big strap line. But the funny thing is that the more and more money is spent, in the volume of billions of pounds, billions of dollars, the more money is spent, the more people are getting cancer every year. So again, there's something not quite right with that. There's something else going on. So we really need to be vigilant with our own health and take action to learn what's really going to work to keep your good health. The bottom line is that the health game has changed. We need to be vigilant. So is this for you? Well, if you're tired of wondering exactly what to eat for the best and to get and stay healthy, then you'll really get a lot out of this webinar. If you want to lose stubborn fat, then this is for you. If you want to heal an illness or disease, then you'll get a lot out of this. And if you want a simple plan for eating day to day for you and your family that's healthy, convenient, affordable and simple, then this is for you. And finally, if you're worried about how to eliminate GMOs, given that what I said about 75% of supermarket shelves are full of genetically modified foods, if you want to eliminate these things as well as hormones, chemicals and other nasty additives from your diet, then this information will be useful. And if you want to improve your performance mentally and physically, and also a byproduct is that you become more spiritually in tune. If this sounds good to you, then this is for you. And if you want to look younger and more beautiful, then you'll enjoy this as well. Now there's a few house rules. I've put this in because this is not about a quick fix diet. The alkaline diet is not some faddy, newfangled thing that's going to be gone tomorrow and only works in the short time. It's not a quick fix diet. It's a diet. It's a health regime. It's a long-standing, sustainable lifestyle rather than a faddy diet. So I want you to make no assumptions, because there's a lot of assumptions which people think when they think of a plant-based diet. So you're not going to get enough protein, you're not going to get enough calcium, all these things. So I want you to just kind of put aside your assumptions for the moment, whatever they may be, and take this stuff on board. And there's no overnight results, which is linked to it not being a quick fix diet. This is the type of thing that you need to, look at over the longer term. And I'm making no medical claims. I'm not a doctor, so please take that on board. If you're making a major change to your diet or lifestyle, then please go and seek medical advice before doing so. Now, I have a confession. Yes, I have an advantage over most people in that I'm an athlete, because a lot of people say to me, well, it's okay for you, you know, you're a marathon runner and you're this and you're that. But it doesn't mean to say that I can just eat whatever I want and still be fit and healthy. In fact, it's quite the reverse. By eating, following the diet that I do and help other people to follow, that's what gives you the energy and the drive and the ability to move your body more and do more exercise, okay? And I'm sure that you probably do a lot of exercise as well, or you do walking or you know, so yes, bear that in mind, that it doesn't mean to say that because I do all this exercise I can just get away with eating anything. But if you've ever tried to start a healthy eating regime and failed miserably, finding yourself eating everything from chocolate cakes, ice cream, to burgers, pies and alcohol, coupled with finding yourself lacking energy and enthusiasm to exercise, and maybe even some serious signs of ill health, then this might sound familiar, because I wasn't always fit and healthy by any stretch of the imagination. So this is my story. At age 19, as a university student, then I was overweight, not majorly so, but carrying probably a stone extra than I needed to. I was undernourished, but eating too much, so overeating but undernourished. I was a smoker, smoking about 10 cigarettes a day, and partying regularly. As a student, you know, what we were kind of conditioned into doing was to go out drinking every night. And I did find that if I wasn't out drinking, then I didn't really make new friends. So just got into the habit of going out drinking, and eventually I got alcohol poisoning. I woke up one morning with this big rash on my legs, and it was the most itchy rash, and I thought, what is this? And because it was so itchy, I had to go to the doctor because it was just unbearably itchy. The doctor took one look at it and he said, oh, well, that's alcohol poisoning. And I thought, what do you mean that's alcohol poisoning? That's what alcoholics get, right? And he said, oh, well, very blasé. He said, oh, well, don't worry about it too much. You know, a lot of students get alcohol poisoning. And I just felt like I'd really let myself down. I thought, alcohol poisoning, that's just not acceptable. That's not acceptable for me. Shouldn't be in my lifestyle. I need to raise my standards here. So that was a turning point for me. A year later, well, not a year later, immediately later, I started making some changes. But probably about 6 months later, I joined a gym and then started to improve my diet. So this was very kind of incremental changes, but steps in the right direction. I stopped going out partying and drinking so much, and started to make improvements in my diet. So instead of eating the food that I was having cooked for me in catered halls, which was typically things like bangers and mash, sausages, very meat-based, very dense, fatty foods. Even for breakfast every day, we were offered a full English cooked breakfast with bacon and eggs and hash browns and all that kind of stuff, sausages, and I ate that most days. So I cut all that out and started making my own food, things like pasta and rice-based things. But I still wasn't getting the health results I really wanted, which was I wanted really good energy and I wanted to lose that extra fat, because at 19, 20 years old, I felt like an old woman. I felt lethargic all the time, and I thought, there's something not right here. So that, coupled with the alcohol poisoning, I was on the path to health now. I wanted to make some changes, and I saw some small improvements, and I wanted more. So I thought, now what? Well, really I had two options. Either I abandoned my desire to be fit, lean, youthful looking and healthy, because I wasn't getting the results very quickly, so I could have just given up. But instead there was option two, which was to figure it out and enjoy the amazing benefits of being vibrantly healthy. And luckily enough, or I'm glad to say that I took option two, which was really born out of a decision, well, kind of three decisions actually. So Firstly, I decided to figure this diet stuff out and just began researching feverishly, examining the effectiveness and biases of the information and interviewing experts. Because at university I studied law, so the one thing that that degree gave me, which I still use today, is it taught me how to triangulate results, which means not to just take something you learn as read, but to get 3 different sources and different angles on that information to examine the credibility of it, if you like, and the thoroughness of it, and whether it's actually true. So I started researching a lot. It's my kind of nature, it's my personality. I'm someone who is very, I love learning, I love researching stuff. So when I started fixing my and also interviewing experts as well. And I really decided to commit to real, proven health fundamentals. So we're not talking faddy diets. I tried the faddy diets. I tried the Atkins diet for a few days, couldn't stick it for any longer than that. I don't know how anyone can. And I'm not talking about medical industry quick fixes either, like pills and potions and surgery and all that kind of stuff and the hype. I wanted to research proven health fundamentals. That was my goal, because I knew that that's what I would have to go, that was the path I would have to take to ensure the really good health and energy that I wanted long term. So that was the commitment I made. And I started implementing the new information I found. So I basically used myself as a guinea pig and started testing the effectiveness of my actions and created a system for health success. Now, I wouldn't have called it a system at the time, but I worked out what was working and did more of it, and then would tweak something else, and then if that worked I would do more of it, and if it didn't work I'd scrap that and do something else. And so I'd make all these changes and monitor what was working and measuring it with things like, so by now I was running a few miles every day or every few days on the treadmill at the gym, and I would work out, okay, so when I eat this I can run faster and for longer, and when I go back to eating this, then that has a bad effect on my body. So yes, I mentioned a health system. Well, really a health system is the key to this, is the key to success with your diet. Just having a sip of water. And a health system is the tried and tested simple things that lead to great health but don't make a lot of money for pharmaceutical companies. So this is a thing, this is a really key thing you need to bear in mind, that health is simple, but you need to cut through the noise of what the big pharma companies and the food industries will tell you that health is based upon, okay? There's a big distinction there, and I'll talk about this more as we go through. So a health system, I've spent past 15 years refining what works best for fitness performance, for weight management, for anti-aging and disease prevention. Those are my 4 big things I kept in mind: fitness prevention, weight management, anti-aging and disease prevention. And in doing so, it enabled me to lose around 20 pounds of fat. I went from barely being able to run a mile on the treadmill. I remember the first mile I ran it took me about 12 minutes and I felt like I was going to die. And now I run 32-mile ultra marathons, and I recently came 7th in my category for the last marathon I entered. Plus, I look younger now than probably when I was 24, about 10 years ago. So the results are there to be seen. You know, the results speak for themselves. And I'm really glad that I've been able to refine this diet and this health system to get those results. And not only has it worked for me, but it's worked for a lot of other people as well. I'm a real evangelist about this stuff, about the alkaline diet and following a healthy lifestyle. And family members have seen some really fantastic changes. My dad has made some great changes with his diet and seen some great improvements. And then a wider community as well of people at my gym and, you know, a wider circle of friends and associates. And then there's all the people through on my health website as well. And I regularly get feedback from them saying, wow, this stuff works. I'm off my diabetes drugs. I'm able to, you know, walk a few miles, whereas I couldn't do that before. So this stuff works. Also, yes, as I've just mentioned, I've helped many thousands of people around the world improve their body, their weight, their health, their energy through my website, coaching, books and health events. So I know this stuff works. Now, that led me to develop a complete system, and the definition of a system, which, like I say, I didn't really know it was a system at the time, but when I formalized that, I sat down and wrote it all out and developed this system. And the definition of a system is something that can be repeated time and time again, and people will get the same results. So if you follow it, if I follow it, if another person follows it, you follow a system, you get the same results, and that's the definition. And this is a system for weight loss and for making weight loss effortless, tapping into that thing I mentioned earlier, which was turning off your fat genes. And it can help reverse disease within a matter of weeks, no matter what your starting point is. So as I say, I'm not a doctor, but there's a lot of evidence out there to show, and the feedback I get from people who move to a more alkaline diet say that they're able to reverse disease, which is a bold claim, but it's true. And it's based around the alkaline diet. And all my research led to the fact that in order to get healthy, you need to alkalize your body. So what is the alkaline diet? Well, it's based around the fact that our blood is slightly alkaline. There's a pH scale, pH 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is acidic, and then anything above 7 up to 14, so it's a 14-point scale, is alkaline. And our blood is optimized at a pH around about 7.35 in order for us to be healthy and really thrive. If we overload our body with foods that are acidifying, then we run into problems. So it's kind of like, this analogy is used a lot, and I'm going to use it as well because it makes the most sense and it's the easiest to relate to. It's like having a fish in a goldfish bowl, and if you keep pouring in, obviously the fish would prefer clean water in that bowl, right? If you keep pouring in things like oil and Coca-Cola, and if you put in a pack of crisps, and then you put in some other soda drinks and some alcohol and throw in a couple of cigarettes, what's going to happen? That water's going to get really dirty, it's going to get very toxic, and sooner or later the fish in that bowl are going to get health problems. Now, the allopathic medical model, as in the standard Western medical model, when you go to your doctor, rather than saying, now what you need to do is you need to change that water, a doctor has been trained throughout the 7 years or more training that they get to address the problem by giving that fish a drug. So instead of saying let's change the water, it will go, right, no, you need aspirin for the headaches that you're getting, you need some Zantac for this, you need some Prozac for the depression. So rather than addressing the root cause of the problem, they'll prescribe drugs that will mask the symptoms. We all know this, but yet still people are not acting upon this information. They're still putting all their faith in their doctors and taking pills and not looking at the root problems. So the root problem of all disease is toxicity caused by over-acidity in the body. Now, it's true that our bodies are very, very clever, and your body will obviously do the best it can to keep you alive and well. So if it needs to, and your blood is always around the 7.35 mark on the pH scale. So your body, in order to keep your blood at that point, will sacrifice other things, other lesser important mechanisms, if you like, in the body. So for instance, if your blood is, if your bodily environment is too acidic, your body will intuitively leach alkaline minerals from other areas of the body and put it into the blood to keep that blood slightly alkaline. Where do you think it gets these alkaline minerals from? Things like calcium and magnesium. It takes them from the bones and from your teeth. So that's why people get things like osteoporosis and bone problems, because of over-acidity. So the best thing we can do for our body is to work with this alkaline balance and provide our body with nourishing foods that keep this alkaline balance in easy harmony. Rather than having to swim against the tide all the time with our food and what we put into our body, go with the flow, do what our body wants, and we will have good health. Now, this is the interesting fact about cancer and the alkaline diet. Nobel Prize winning chemist, Dr. Otto Warburg, won the Nobel Prize in the 1920s for discovering that cancer cannot thrive in an alkaline environment. Now that's massive news. That means that if you alkalize your body, then literally cancer cannot exist. End of story. And this has been proven time and time again with things like Gerson therapy, which is very, very popular over in places like Mexico and in the Nordics, where when people get serious cancer, you know, terminal cancer, they will go and have Gerson therapy, which is based around having around about 13 alkaline vegetable juices every day, with things like wheatgrass and spinach and lots of leafy greens full of calcium, full of chlorophyll, which is very similar to our body's blood. And this alkalizes your body, and literally cancer is reversed. And the effectiveness of Gerson therapy and these alkalizing therapies is infinitely higher than things like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and is nowhere near as invasive or devastating to the body. So this is massive news, yet you won't hear it on the mainstream news because it would put the drug companies out of business. Okay, so take this on board, bear it in mind, and this is the power of alkalizing. The alkaline diet works in harmony with your body's natural balance and is the diet for supreme health and energy. It's the diet for optimum weight, for disease prevention and reversal, and for slow aging. So everything you could possibly want regarding your health and beauty and anti-aging, you can obtain and most certainly achieve relatively easily by alkalizing your body. This is a type of diet that's followed by a lot of top celebrities. The alkaline diet is getting a lot more popularity these days with celebrities who look naturally very, very radiant. People like Gwyneth Paltrow, Brad Pitt, Natalie Portman, Jared Leto, even Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has been an alkaline vegan for a number of years, and he's very muscly still. Pamela Anderson, Casey Affleck, Russell Brand, Garth Brooks, Ted Danson, Ellen DeGeneres, Demi Moore, Jason Mraz, and Joaquin Phoenix, to name but a few. So it is gaining more popularity, and the thing is, the elite know about this. The elite thrive on it. You might see some celebrities promoting, you know, soda drinks and whatever, but those same celebrities are often they don't touch those things in their everyday life. They're eating greens and drinking wheatgrass juice and having lots of fruits and vegetables. So it is gaining traction, and you will see a plant-based diet being promoted a lot more in years to come, and specifically an alkaline diet. So jump on board now. Get ahead of the crowd, because don't wait for everyone else to give you the permission, if you like, to live healthy. Do it now. Do it now. So let's get into the 5 steps to becoming more alkaline. So if you need to grab a pen, grab a drink, and take some notes. I'm going to take a sip of water, and then we'll get into it. Okay, so here are the 5 steps. Number 1 is to eliminate acidic toxins. Number 2 is to eat raw vegetables every day. Number 3 is to eat fruit for energy and reduced cravings. Number 4 is to keep fat and protein intake low. And number 5 is to fill up with a hearty cooked fiber meal. So let's look at these in a lot more detail. So number one, eliminate acidic toxins. So I mentioned just now that, that the problems of degenerative disease are caused by overacidity. So what are acidic toxins? Well, you might or may not be surprised to know that meat is a very acidic toxin for a number of reasons. Meat in itself is very dense in animal protein, obviously, which is very hard for us to digest. We're not designed to be eating these things, really. And people may contest that. The paleo diet people will certainly contest that. But the fact is, you look at our physiology of our body, you look at our teeth, you look at our digestive tract, you look at our hands, which are designed for peeling fruits, the fact that we're just simply not equipped to hunt down our food and rip it open and eat it with our bare teeth and our paws and claws. We're not physically set up for that. And when you see a dead animal on the side of the road, you don't instantly start salivating. Any true meat eater would find that attractive. It would find the sight and the smell of rotting flesh attractive, as your dog does, as cats do, as, you know, true carnivores do. So that's number one. Number two is that even if meat was good for us, the way meat is produced these days is so toxic in itself. So meat is pumped full of all sorts of hormones, growth hormones. Chickens, cows are fed these hormones to make them grow at a much more rapid rate. And what do you think happens to those hormones? It goes straight into your body and plays havoc with your hormones and with your body, which is why a lot of, you know, like breast cancer is so prevalent, a hormonal type cancer. Genetically modified feed that's given to the animals. And then there's fear. Literally, as animals are killed, then they're obviously in a very heightened state of fear, and that fear means that they're releasing a lot of hormones, so adrenaline, noradrenaline, and that is encapsulated, if you like, when that animal is killed. That is kept as a snapshot in the body of that animal, and when you eat that animal's flesh, you're ingesting all that fear, all those fear hormones. And it might sound a lot of people say when you talk about eating fear, oh, well, that's just a kind of spiritual woo-woo type thing. But it's actually scientifically proven that fear, if you eat fear, like meat with fear in it, then that translates to you, and you become more scarcity-minded and fearful and see the world around you as being dangerous and stressful and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's a very real thing to take on board. Then there's also dyes and fillers and chemicals and glues. Most meat is actually glued together these days, so do you really want to be eating that? All of these things are highly acidifying toxins. Dairy, full of pus, blood, leukemia cells. I only recently found this out, and it totally shocked me, but you realize that dairy cows, the milk they produce is full of leukemia cells. And another astonishing fact is that dairy farmers have a disproportionately high rate of leukemia. Now, a lot of people for the dairy industry would say, well, milk is pasteurized, so those cells are killed. Maybe so, but do you still want to be drinking dead leukemia cells? I know I certainly wouldn't, so I gave up milk about a year ago completely. I haven't drunk it. I drank it in very small proportions before, but when I found this out, that was it. I became 100% vegan and haven't looked back. I've never felt better. Growth hormones, dairy cows are pumped full of them, and milk in its natural state has a lot of growth hormones in it anyway, recombinant growth hormone and IGF-1, it's insulin growth factor 1 that cows produce to take a baby cow from small to a few tons in a matter of months. So obviously we're not designed to be growing at such a rapid rate as humans, so this can cause problems. Other acidic toxins are packaged and processed foods, so refined products, things with colors, flavors, additives, sweeteners, GMOs. Basically, if you have to look on the back of a packet with the food you're eating, it's likely to be acidic. And if that food has got more than a few simple ingredients that you know what they are, so like tomatoes, onions, we know what those things are. As soon as you read anything that sounds like a chemical it's basically going to be very acidifying. And then there's the obvious things like alcohol, caffeine, and smoking. And then some not so obvious things like household chemicals and beauty products. Things like fluoride in toothpaste is highly acidifying, despite what dentists will have you believe, that fluoride is good for your teeth. Fluoride is a hardening agent. What do you think it's doing to your arteries and your bones and your inner organs? Household chemicals, things with parabens in, and things like deodorants with aluminium in has been strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease, for example. So, okay, that's the negativity on acidic toxins. Let's look at how we can eliminate acidic toxins. So the most simple answer is really just to make your own meals from scratch. And you might be thinking, well, that's all very well in theory, but it's hard to do all of the time. Well, actually, it's not. I tell you, since I've been on this type of lifestyle, it's like eating fast food all the time, because how hard is it to prepare fruits and vegetables, really? I think back to when I used to be at university cooking meals with chicken and beef and eggs. You have to have lots of different saucepans and knives, and then you have to wash everything really thoroughly. With fruits and vegetables, it's just simple. So much more simple. So it is easy to make your own meals from scratch. Eat a plant-based diet. So challenge yourself. If you eat meat at the moment and then drink milk and have dairy products, cheese, whatever, yogurts, challenge yourself to eat less and less meat and dairy every week. And I appreciate that for a lot of people listening, this might be challenging your long-held beliefs and assumptions. But that's why I said at the beginning of this call, put your assumptions aside. Meat and dairy are not good for you. And don't take my word for it. Go and do your own research. Write this down. There's a series of lectures on YouTube that you can watch freely by Dr. John McDougall called, I think it's called Fad-Free, something along the lines of Fad-Free Diets. Go and watch those lectures. There's about 11 of them. Watch the first one and you'll probably be hooked and want to see the rest. So go and check those out. Also look at the work of Neil Barnard, Dr. Neil Barnard. He's on YouTube. He's got a number of really entertaining lectures as well as informative. So don't take my word for it. Go and check it out. But a plant-based diet is really the best. A plant-based diet is alkaline. And yes, challenge yourself to just eat less and less each week. And before you know it, you'll be eating very little and feeling more energized and more sustained with your diet than ever before. That's been my experience and many other people's experience. So choose fluoride-free toothpaste. If you're in the UK, brands like Allodent and Kingfisher, which you can get from your local health food shop or you can get online. Amazon sells these days as well. Aluminium-free deodorants, so go for things like body sprays and natural deodorants rather than antiperspirants. You don't want anything with aluminium in. It causes respiratory problems as well as being strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease. Parabens-free beauty products, so you want cruelty-free beauty products wherever possible, and parabens-free because these are cancer-forming agents. And finally, get rid of your microwave oven. Honestly, please do this. Your microwave oven is a cancer-causing machine. Not only does it completely get rid of any nutrients that was ever there in your food, it's not called nuking for nothing, right? But it also produces, it changes the chemical structure of your food, and it produces radiolytic compounds which are highly carcinogenic. So I emailed my website subscribers about this about 3 years ago, and I just had this barrage of people saying, oh my gosh, I never realized. Yes, because I sent a link to some information on this, and all these people said, how come we don't know this? Why aren't microwave ovens banned? Why not? Well, it probably comes down to money. It probably comes down to the inefficiency of the governments or whatever. So don't wait for it to be banned by your country and the laws and whatever where you're living. Take this into your own hands and get rid of your microwave oven now. So let's recap on that. So by eliminating acidic toxins one by one, you do reduce your chances of getting a life-threatening disease dramatically. This is the thing, it's the small shifts, it's like the small shifts on a compass, but over the course of the whole journey, your whole lifetime, 5 years, 10 years, even a few months, it's going to make dramatically different, have dramatically different results for the benefit by making these changes, okay? So that's number one, eliminating acidic toxins. Let's move on to number two, which is to eat raw vegetables every day. So raw vegetables are highly alkaline, they're full of antioxidants, and they're full of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green substance that is only one molecule different from your own blood, so it's highly regenerating. It regenerates your cells, it nourishes your cells. Antioxidants are anti-cancer producing agents as well. Your vegetables must be raw to retain the full nutrients. When you cook food, you lose about 80% of the nutrients, so you must have a raw vegetable meal every day. The good news is that even 10 portions of raw veg has very few calories. Okay, so that leaves a lot of, the rest of your calories can be on other things, the things that you really like the taste of. I appreciate that eating raw vegetables may not be the most palatable thing for some people, but you can get to love them, and you really have a few options with how to get your raw vegetables. So number one is to eat a big salad. So lots of spinach, lots of maybe kale or lettuce with some tomatoes, cucumber, you know, a big salad with a low-fat dressing. Number two is to, if you don't want to eat your vegetables, then have a green smoothie or a juice. So a green smoothie that I like to have is either just maybe say 5 bananas with some kale and spinach, or a pineapple smoothie with cucumber and apples and celery and spinach and lime juice, for example. So you can actually drink your vegetables. And a green smoothie with pineapple or bananas or apples tastes sweet. So the main thing that you're going to taste is the sweet fruits. So you're not even going to be realizing that you're getting all these vegetables. This is great for children as well. Children will love green smoothies or juices. And don't worry about people saying, you're going to get comments, right? I get this all the time. Oh, what's that pond juice you're drinking? Oh, that looks disgusting. Well, okay. Let them have their opinion. People will make comments, but oftentimes the people who say things like, oh, what's that, it looks horrible, are the ones who become the biggest converts. That's been my experience anyway. So go ahead, drink your green smoothie, feel proud, and know that it's doing you a lot of good. And the third option is cut veg crudités. So this is my preferred option. I will literally eat, when I finish the gym, most days I come out and I have a big bag of vegetables, and as I walk home along by the sea, I'll eat a raw carrot and some raw broccoli and some raw cucumber and some raw celery and a couple of baby tomatoes, and I really love it. There's something satisfying about crunching on raw vegetables, and this is not just my opinion, this is scientifically proven that humans crunching on raw vegetables, it gives like a kind of cathartic, relaxing effect, and that's definitely been my experience. So, and I must say I have learned to really enjoy the taste of fresh raw vegetables, broccoli, celery, things like that. So don't knock it until you tried it. That's your 3 options for raw vegetables. So let's recap on that. Raw veg every day, they really form the backbone of an alkaline diet because of the chlorophyll, because of the alkaline nature of those foods. And your great health, it forms the backbone of your great health, and it only has to be a small amount of your calories. So literally, as I mentioned, 10 portions of vegetables a day will probably only be around 100 calories. And even if you have a green smoothie with the fruits, you're still only looking about 300 or 400 calories. So that leaves all the rest of, you know, like 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 calories, depending on whether you're a man or a woman and how active you are. You have all that leeway with the rest of your diet. So do this. I see this as my insurance policy. This is what keeps me young looking. This is what keeps me healthy and energized. And it's my insurance policy against degenerative disease. So number 3 is to eat fruits for energy and reduced cravings. Now, as you know, there's a lot of controversy around carbohydrates and sugar. So many people will say, oh, don't eat sugar, it's bad for you, and oh, carbs are bad. I don't know where this crap has come from because we've got sugar receptor cells on our tongue. That's a fact. We're designed to be eating sweet fruits. Every cell in your body, in the trillions of cells in our body, run on simple sugars, on glucose. So where are we supposed to get that sugar from? If we're loading our bodies with protein and fat, trying to keep our carbs low, we're going to be tired because our body's struggling. Our body, it takes so much more energy and effort to turn protein into an eventual glycogen molecule, glucose molecule that our bodies can use, our cells can use. So make it easy on our bodies. Have sweet fruits, and sweet fruits are not the same as refined white sugar. Okay, there's a big difference. Now, the other interesting thing is that fructose in fruit doesn't stimulate an insulin response. So that's why you never see any long-term fruitarians, people who eat a lot of fruit, and some people who eat exclusively fruit and vegetables. They're all thin, they're all lean, they're all healthy, because you cannot get fat on fruit. Don't mix fruit with lots of other things, because you'll run into digestive problems, because fruit is so easily digestible. If you eat fruit after, say, a protein meal, they digest at different rates, and that fruit is going to ferment, and then it can cause over-acidity. Okay, so you want to eat fruit on its own, or certainly before other things. But fruit in itself, and the fructose, the sugar in the fruit, doesn't stimulate an insulin response, which means that it's going to keep you satisfied and also lean at the same time. So by eating fruit sugar, you reduce the temptation of other sweet things like cakes and chocolate and ice cream, which are also laden. They come with this whole barrage of other chemicals which are highly acidifying. So to the people who are going to be thinking, oh, I don't know, fruit's going to make me fat, and fruit's bad because it raises your blood sugar and all this, put those assumptions aside, because if you're not eating fruit to get that sweet fix, which we're designed to be getting, which is why our tongues have got these sugar receptor cells, if we're not getting that, inevitably, you're going to look at getting that sweet fix from somewhere else, whether it's alcohol or cakes or chocolate, and all these things come at a very big price, which is over-acidity in the body. So go for the sweet fruits. Now, the other mistake a lot of people make is they think, okay, I'll eat fruit, I'll have a banana or an orange. You need to make sure you're eating enough fruit, as in multiple portions of fruit. So I regularly have 6 bananas in a smoothie, and I'll sit down and have 7 oranges for breakfast, because otherwise you're not going to get enough calories. You know, there's like 100 calories in a banana, whereas in a chocolate bar or a big bowl of ice cream, there can be 400 or 500 calories. So you want to make sure you get enough. The other thing you need to consider is to eat the fruit when it's ripe. So bananas should be brown and spotty, because this is where the full complement of nutrients get a chance to really be present in that fruit, and also that it's the most sweet, so you're getting that real sweet fix. Dates are a great staple fruit as well. Dates are like my favorite food ever. I eat tons of these every day, because they're dense, they're calorific, so you can eat, say, 3 or 4 big dates, and that's the same as a chocolate bar, but without all the rubbish in it, without all the fat, without all the GMO byproducts and all that kind of stuff, and full of nutrients as well. So it's a great food to eat if you have cravings for any type of processed, fatty or refined sugar junk food. So let's recap on that. Ripe fruits keep you in the black, as I like to say. So every time you choose dates over a chocolate bar, or bananas over some cake or ice cream, then you're making a deposit to your bank of good health. So it's keeping you in the black as opposed to in the red. Okay, so every time you choose chocolate and cakes, you're withdrawing from that bank of good health. So eat the fruits to keep you on track. Okay, so let's move on. Number 4 is to keep fat and protein intake low. So why low protein? We're in a society where we're told you must get enough protein, and with the paleo diet and the Atkins diet and the South Beach diet and even diets like the Cambridge diet, they promote, and the Dukan diet, you know, I could go on, they all promote higher levels of protein. And so why am I saying low protein? Well, there's a very good reason. Protein puts a strain on your liver, especially animal protein. It's very hard to digest, and it does put a massive strain on your liver. The best source of protein for humans is plant-based proteins, which might be a surprise to you, because again, we're told by the meat and dairy industry, the food industries, which spend millions and millions and millions of pounds each year on getting their message out that you need meat for protein and you need dairy for calcium. You know, they spend a lot of marketing pounds on promoting this message, which is why we're so socially conditioned to believe this. But the best source of protein for humans is plant protein from leafy greens. So spinach, kale, cabbage, wheatgrass, bok choy, all that kind of stuff is really good for you. It's the most easily accessible and used and assimilated by your body. So people often say to me, how come you can run so much and how can we never get injuries and where are you getting your protein from? Well, let me tell you this. I'm a muscular woman. A lot of runners, their muscles atrophy and they get all kind of, they're not muscular. I'm muscular. I recover from my runs really quickly. Last month I ran 31 miles and that was on a Saturday. On the Monday I was back in the gym doing some cycling and a body combat class and felt good. My recovery is great, and it's because of the leafy greens. I don't eat any animal protein whatsoever. I'm completely vegan, and leafy greens is the key to getting the right amount of protein and the right type of protein. The World Health Organization says that 10% protein is all we need, and that's in fact the maximum level. So all these diets promoting 30, 40, 50% of your calories through protein, it's going to cause people to run into a lot of health problems, as is shown by the statistics of disease in our societies. Too much protein, too much animal protein leads to cancer, okay? So you want to be having low protein and plant-based protein. So yes, our intake should be around 10% of calories per day. So for a woman of about 2,000 calories, only 200 calories should be from protein. So why low fat? You know, there's a lot of other diets out there. Again, things like the Atkins diet and will say you need to eat fat to burn fat. Well, that's not the case. It's simply not the case. The fat you eat becomes the fat on your body. Even the so-called good fats, so things like olive oil and flaxseed oil, they're okay in very small proportions, but if you eat fat, you will put on weight. I know this. I know this firsthand, and I see it all the time. People, especially people who want to go on an alkaline or a vegan diet or a raw vegan diet even, they think, right, I'm going to ditch the cooked carbs, cooked grains and things like that, and eat 100% raw, and they start eating a lot of cashews and nuts and nut butters and seeds and that kind of stuff, and they get problems. And this happened to me when I upped the fat intake in my diet. I couldn't understand why my fitness went out the window literally overnight. I was feeling lethargic all the time. I couldn't run as fast, and I thought it was because I was detoxing. I had a blood test and it showed that my blood was literally gloopy and thick because of too much fat in my diet. So don't make that mistake. Yes, fat makes your blood thick and deoxygenated. And remember we talked about earlier that cancer cannot thrive in an alkaline environment. Cancer cannot thrive in an oxygenated environment. Cancer most certainly can thrive in a deoxygenated environment. And if your blood is full of too much fat, it's deoxygenated and acidic, and therefore could be the terrain which will be suitable for cancer to thrive. Okay, so you want to keep your fat intake low. Again, like protein, around 10% of your calories should be from your fats, and the good news is that you can get 10% calories of fats from plant sources without having to add extra fats and refined oils. So by eating your regular fruits and vegetables, with a few seeds here and there maybe, but don't go overboard on the seeds and nuts. Keep that intake around 10%, then you'll be getting all your omega-3s that you need, 3, 6 and 9s, without any of the saturated fat. Saturated fat is animal fat. So you're going to be doing the best by your health by doing this. So that leaves 80% of your calories from carbohydrates. And you may know that a guy called Dr. Doug Graham, wrote a book called the 80-10-10 diet, which is based on the principle of eating 80% carbs, 10% fat, 10% protein, and why that's the optimum diet for humans. So if you want to learn more about these macronutrient ratios, do go and read Doug Graham's book, the 80-10-10 diet. Now let's talk about turning off the fat genes. I told you we have this fat gene in our bodies. Well, Dr. Neil Barnard has written a whole book on this topic, and it's really fascinating. So here's what Neil says. Everybody has a gene for fat storage, which is located on chromosome 8, and its effects become obvious on our thighs and waistlines, but it essentially shuts off if you keep fat out of the foods that you eat. If your fat storage machinery has nothing to work with, no fat to store, that is, it quits. To put it in a nutshell, number one, shut down the fat storage gene by leaving fat out of your diet. This means swapping the greasy meat sauce on your spaghetti for a light marinara, or trading your meat taco for a bean burrito. Avoiding fats, animal fats and vegetable oils is as important as ever. He goes on. Number two, boost the fat-burning genes with slow-release carbs, so beans, pastas, vegetables. Don't follow the high-protein fad approach that avoids carbs completely. High-protein diets encourage the progression of heart blockages and do not promote long-term weight loss for most people. Chicken fat, beef fat, fish fat, fried foods, these are the foods that fuel our fat genes by giving them the raw materials for building body fat. On the other hand, vegetables and fruits release their natural sugars very slowly as to allow the body to minimize its need for insulin. Insulin can slow fat burning. These same healthy foods are extremely low in fat and high in fiber, so they satisfy the appetite. So there you have it. That's how to turn off your fat genes, by eating fruits and vegetables and getting rid of the animal proteins and the animal fats. Neil Barnard has written lots of fantastic books. Do go and check out his work. He's got loads of really entertaining information on YouTube. He is founder of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and he's worked with literally thousands of people across the world to reverse degenerative disease and help people lose a lot of weight using these natural methods. So he's a real pioneer in this field. So let's recap. When you eat 80% of your calories from plant food, carbohydrates, and 10% from plant-based proteins and 10% from plant fats, you are optimizing your diet and you will get lean. It's inevitable. You can't eat this way and not get lean, okay? So if you're fed up of following diets and not getting the results you want, then you should be getting excited right now, because this stuff works and you will get lean by following this diet. So let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is to fill up with a hearty cooked fiber meal. So eating a meal of cooked grains and vegetables fills you up, and it has the satisfaction of a fatty, meaty meal without the high acidity and toxins. So this is the beautiful thing about this. This is what I love. Eating this way, I've never felt so satisfied, and I'm not eating all the fat and the meat and the crap that I was eating before. So it's really wonderful. And what I'm talking about with cooked fiber is meals with staples such as brown rice, buckwheat, bulgur wheat, potatoes, sweet potatoes, quinoa, millet, and whole grain pasta. There are a few others as well, amaranth and couscous, that type of thing. But these are the main staples. The good news is that these are cheap, these are easily accessible. I tend to buy mine online and in bulk because I can buy organic, say brown rice, like 5 kilograms of the stuff at a really cheap price. So this is a cheap meal. You can buy it anywhere, all these staples, and they are satisfying. They satisfy you without the fat, without the protein. So you're getting that carbohydrate hit. And, you know, if you think about it, these are all the things we like to eat anyway. When a lot of people, when they've gone out drinking and they want some food afterwards, they go and have chips. What are chips? Potatoes. Or they'll go and have a curry. What's a curry? Rice. Or they'll have, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I love eating pasta, I like big bowls of pasta. Well, this is good news to all these people who love this type of food. You can eat a lot of it. But the only difference is you're getting rid of the fats and the high proteins. So you're not going to be getting that tired feeling, you're not going to gain weight, you're not going to get degenerative disease, you're going to have the opposite. So the key is to prepare these grains and these cooked fibers with a low-fat, simple sauce made with spices and herbs. So it's really simple. So let's compare these two curry meals to illustrate what I'm talking about in terms of the difference of health. So John and Jane, they could both be having curry and rice for dinner. John's meal could be made with a bottled sauce that contains MSG, monosodium glutamate, genetically modified maize starch, and around 50% of calories from refined oils. He adds some lean chicken that's been fed a putrid mix of crushed cow bones and genetically modified corn, and serves it with some fried white rice. Jane's curry meal is made with freshly steamed vegetables, spices, a little almond milk, and a can of tomatoes. She adds some chickpeas and sweet potato and serves it with boiled brown rice. So the taste and feel of the meal for both of these people, for both John and Jane, is a warming, spicy, satisfying curry. Yet John's, on the one hand, is highly acidifying and contains many fattening and harmful ingredients, whereas Jane's is healthy, natural, low-fat and energizing. So that's the distinction here. You can really make any meal that you really, really like alkaline by just a few little switches, and your taste buds and your senses won't really know the difference, but your body and your cells will know the difference, and the difference will be massive in terms of your health and leanness and fitness and energy over the long term. So the thing that I really want you to get out of this is that success with your diet is in the details, it's in the specifics, it's in the choices you make hour to hour. And a hearty cooked fibre meal is really a golden key to satisfying you without all the refined oils and chemicals of a standard Western meal. So let's recap. We've gone through the 5 steps. And let's do a recap on those. So number 1 is to eliminate acidic toxins. Number 2 is to eat raw vegetables every day. Number 3 is to eat fruit for energy and for reduced cravings. Number 4 is to keep fat and protein intake low. And number 5 is to fill up with a hearty cooked fibre meal. So let's talk about you. Well, you're at your computer, you're watching this webinar, you've heard how this works, you've seen that there are 5 steps to becoming more alkaline, and you know by now that following an alkaline diet can prevent and reverse disease, it can slow the aging process, and it can most certainly give you more energy and to help you lose weight effortlessly. So if you're someone who really wants to take your health to that next level, and if you want the energy to live a full life and have a positive impact on your friends and family around you, then you might be wondering how you can implement all these things I just showed you quickly and easily. And if you'd like me to help you implement everything that we've gone over, then I'd be delighted. And the fastest way to get started is with a diet system that I've created called the Alkaline 5 Diet. I mentioned at the beginning. So what I'd like to do now is just to go over exactly what's in the Alkaline 5 diet and how it can really help you to achieve the things that you want to achieve, and to give you that insurance policy for ensuring your good health over the long term. And if it resonates with you, if it feels right for you, then I want you to get it. And if you're already doing all of this stuff and you think, you know what, Laura, it sounds great, I've got it sorted, then there's no need. So don't get it. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then that's fine. But here's what's in the Alkaline 5 diet. So it's a set of 4 downloadable resources and recipes to help you become more alkaline, to eat simply, and to take the guesswork out of healthy eating. I wanted to produce something that would be simple for anyone to do, because a lot of, even within the alkaline diet, there's a lot of gurus out there and experts who talk about eating things which are just simply hard to find. So things like colloidal silver and getting pH drops and all these weird and wonderful potions and superfoods, and it's really overkill. You need to be looking at, I talked about the health fundamentals. Well, that's what this diet is based around, the health fundamentals, and it makes it easy for you. So I had these 5 things in mind. I call them the 5 S's, and I've achieved that with creating the alkaline diet for you. So number 1, it's simple. It's easy to follow and to find your daily foods. It's satisfying, so literally you'll have no more hunger or cravings. Even if you're an avid, say, chocolate lover or really like your alcohol, as I used to be. I was the type of person who ate 3 or 4 chocolate bars every day. You know, I look back now and I think it's ridiculous, but that was because I was undercarbed. I wasn't eating enough grains. I wasn't eating the sugar in the form of simple fruits. So this diet is totally satisfying. When you're getting those sweet fruits, when you're getting those grains, you won't have the cravings and the hunger that you might have had before on other diets. And just on that note about the cooked grains, if you want gluten-free, there's various options within that cooked fiber meal to eat gluten-free. So it's super healthy. It's alkaline and it minimizes the toxins. It means that you're vastly reducing the genetically modified stuff, the acidic stuff, the chemicals, the colorings, the flavorings, the additives. All of that has gone by following this simple diet. It's sustainable, so you can do this for 10 days or you can do it for 10 years and you will be satisfied on it. Unlike things like the alkaline diet, the Atkins diet and paleo diet even, people invariably fall off the wagon. I see it all the time. You can do this I've been doing this diet literally for 12 years now or more, so it's sustainable. And it's systematized, so the beauty of it is, and when I kind of put this down into my book, when I wrote it down, I had this epiphany. I was like, we need to eat 5 meals a day, and you basically pick one within each of the 5 meals. Each of the meals is designed to give you a different result, if you like, to ensure your good health. And as long as you pick one type of food or one meal from each of those 5 meals, then you're going to get the results that you want. So it is completely systematized. And here's some testimonials from people who have followed the Alkaline 5 diet. So Kim G from Illinois in USA says, I lost 11 pounds in 10 days, which she was over the moon with. Robin Richardson from the UK, Sheffield, he says the meals are lovely and energy giving. Sophie T from Melton, the UK, says within a week my body felt lighter and cleaner and my acne began to clear. Adil A, one of my friends, he says that more energy, I have more energy and focus and eased my stomach problems. So that's just a few people. I've got literally hundreds of testimonials from people following an alkaline diet and the Alkaline 5 diet for great results. So if you're someone who wants to lose fat easily, if you want to start to reverse some disease or health issues that you've had for a while, if you want to slow down the aging process, if you want to have more sustained energy with a simple and easy system, all within a matter of weeks, then this is specifically for you. And here's how we'll do it. So this is what you get in the Alkaline 5 diet. You get the diet guidebook. This is I believe it's 42 pages, a diet guide. I sat down and I could have written hundreds of pages in this book, which I've done before in other alkaline diet books that I've written. My Alkaline Diet Vitality book was hundreds of pages. But you know what? You're busy. You want to get straight to the crux of it. So it's a very practical guide. If you want to find out more about all the theory and stuff, do go to my website. There's loads of articles and loads of videos and things there. This diet guide is straight to the practical how to do this diet and succeed on it. You get a recipe book. There's 20 photo recipe cards that you can print in full color showing you the recipes, and it gives you the tools to be able to adapt the recipes as well to suit your taste and to suit whatever ingredients you have around. But it's very, very simple. The recipes are with ingredients like the staples I mentioned earlier. So you can buy these foods easily, accessibly, and have them around in your home and be able to make these recipes kind of on a whim, and most of the recipes can be made within less than 10 minutes. A couple of the ones involving brown rice will take 30 minutes, but the majority can be done very quickly. So this really is the ultimate fast food diet for you and or your family. You get a 20-minute video tutorial. I'm behind a whiteboard showing you exactly how each of the 5 meals, the principles behind the 5 meals and how you eat them, which is why it's called the Alkaline 5 diet, because of these 5 specific meal types that you eat every day. You get a full colour handy infographic, so you can literally print this and put it on your fridge, and it shows you the principles of the 5 things and breaks down the type of food you can eat, and it's just a really gloriously full colour and fun infographic that's going to help you keep on track with this. You also get access to our members-only private Facebook group as well, which it's been quite interesting, and I know a lot of our members have found it invaluable, where this is the best place for me to answer your questions. So people say, can I eat this with this, and what about this, and I'll go in and answer your questions. And there's synergy in that group as well, so other members will give you feedback and encouragement. So yeah, do join that group. So yeah, the Alkaline 5 Diet Guidebook, as I mentioned, is 42 pages of no fluff, simple information. It shows you the complete 5 meal system, and it gives links to free must-watch documentaries to explain more about the benefits of this diet and lifestyle. It gives you calorie adjustments, so if you're someone who wants to lose weight, then I give you a plan for doing that. If you want to maintain your weight, then the calorie adjustments are there for that. And you can even build muscle on this diet as well. I work with athletes. I've worked with some pro basketball players and other athletes who wanted to gain muscle. And you most certainly can do that on this diet because it's so clean, because you're getting that plant protein and the real essential carbs for recovery. You can easily gain muscle on this diet as well, if should you wish to. It's flexible if you want to add more raw food, because a number of people say, you know, I just want to go 100% raw, then you can do that within the realms of the Alkaline 5 diet. Or if you want more cooked food, if you think, you know what, I live in a cold climate, I like eating more cooked foods, then you can. So there's so much flexibility within this diet, and you're still going to be healthy, whatever you choose within it. So the recipe guide, as I mentioned, 19 principal photo meal cards and shopping list. These meals are delicious and satisfying. They really are. I eat these day in, day out. This is not a diet that I've just put together and I do something different. This is how I eat all the time, and it's delicious. And anyone who tries it agrees. It's affordable as well. That's the other thing, a really important thing I wanted to keep in mind, because it's all very well having having these high standards for people, and even myself or yourself, but if it's not sustainable in terms of even being affordable, then it's just not going to happen, is it, over the longer term? So this diet is affordable, it's simple, and the meals can be made mostly in under 10 minutes. You get the 20-minute video tutorial, so I explain those daily meals. And here are the meals. I'll just let you into the 5 meals. So number 1 is a blood cleanser. Number 2 is the vitamin vitality meal, your fruit meal. Number 3 is your fat loss sugar meal, which sounds counterintuitive, but I explain it all in this 20-minute video tutorial. Number 4 is the raw alkaline mineral meal. And number 5 is your hearty cooked fiber meal. So those are the 5 meals, and this 20-minute video tutorial breaks these down into why these are in this diet, what are the benefits, what they do for you, and how to eat them every day as well. You get the colourful infographic, so I've gone through this, so I'll move on. Private Facebook group. So this is the exact system that I've literally used myself to lose 20 pounds of unwanted fat, give me the energy to get super fit and run many marathons. Like I mentioned right at the start of this webinar, it's not because I run marathons and whatever that I've become fit and healthy. It's because I've changed my diet, and that's given me the energy. Because when you're fit and when you're eating right, when you fuel your body right, when you fuel your cells right, you want to move. So you'll know that it's a sign that you're on the right track when all of a sudden you've just got this energy for no reason, and you want to move and you want to run and you want to start going to dance classes and maybe joining a singing group, because that's been my experience. I've got all this extra energy, and it enables you to live life to the full. And if that means for you, you know, just spending more time with your kids and having more time and energy for them, or if it means just more time at work, being able to do your office job in a more focused, energized way, or if it means being able to go on more holidays and just enjoy life more with the energy you want, then this will give you the energy to do that. If you want to look and feel younger now than 10 years ago, then you certainly can do it on this diet. Not only have I seen these benefits for myself, but you look at anyone else who's been on this type of diet, an alkaline diet, a plant-based diet, long term, and they all look very young. People like Mimi Kirk, who's about 75, she looks like she's about 45. So yes, this has definite beautifying effects as well. So let's talk about the price. You might be wondering how much it is. Well, if you're to hire a top nutritionist or a personal trainer, you'd probably be spending around £500 a month, $800 a month. That sounds like a lot, but if you had a nutritionist every day talking to you about the meals you wanted to cook and the best way to do it, you would be spending that amount. And I know people who are spending this on having this done with those type of people. Not forgetting the price of drugs and medical treatment from not doing the correct things in terms of your good health. And those can run into as much as thousands of pounds per month. You know, it blows my mind when I hear, I coach people and speak to people on the phone regularly who are spending literally like £50,000 on chemotherapy treatment. And all of that stuff, you know, cancer and these diseases can be prevented. So yeah, that's how much the price of not alkalizing and not getting your health right could cost you. The Alkaline 5 diet could help save your health and get you in the best shape of your life. It's a bold statement, but it could most certainly help you do that. And you can download the resources immediately. So you get access to the online members area at any time. So you get all those resources I just mentioned to you, the video, the book, the recipe book, and the infographic in a secure online members area. You can go in there anytime, you can download it, so that's yours. And it's very affordable. I really want to make this affordable for everyone. I didn't want price to be a barrier. And it's really a snip at the price at $197, which if you're in the UK, it's about £120. I've done it in dollars because I have a worldwide audience, so but it's around about £120. And you can be using this for the next 10 years. As far as I'm concerned, and I truly believe this, and other people who've done this will say the same, you can end your search now for any other kind of diet, for any other health things. My advice would be to turn off any other channels of where you're getting health information and focus on this. Give it a good go for a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, and see the results for yourself, because I'm sure they will be astounding. And I'd love to hear your feedback. Email me, let me know how you're getting on, because I love to hear people's testimonials. So yes, it's just $197, but it gets better. The first 10 people to enroll today, right now on this webinar, can make just one payment of $97, so you'll save $100. Why am I doing this? Well, Dave and I have got a good relationship. You know, I'm doing this webinar. It's a one-off. You're here. You've been on a webinar now with me for almost an hour and a half. I respect your time, and I want to make this a really good deal for you. So it's one payment of $97. So if you'd like to go and get your copy, get into the members area of the Alkaline 5 diet, then go to my website, which is alkaline-diet-health-tips.com/webinar special. So here's what to do next. Go to that link and enter your regular details on the secure order page. It should be a PayPal page, and you'll immediately get sent an email with your login details. So you're going to get access to resources straight away. and download the recipe books and get started today and start seeing the real benefits that are going to be coming your way from the Alkaline 5 diet. So to recap, if you want to get in best shape ever, if you want to look and feel younger and more vibrant, to reverse a disease or a long-term illness, all within a matter of months, then go to this link and go and get your copy of the Alkaline 5 diet. So again, the link is alkaline-diet-health-tips.com/webinar special. But it gets better. Okay, so I'm going to throw in some extra goodies. So you have a 7-day money-back guarantee, number one. So all the risk is on me. You can go in, download the materials, and check it all out for yourself, because I'm confident. Try it out for 7 days, download the guides, watch the video, and if by the end of that time you decide it's not for you, then simply send me an email and I'll give you 100% of your money back, no questions asked. But it gets even better still. So because you're on this webinar, I just decided to throw in some bonuses. So there's a brand new bonus I've added in called The 11 Habits of Highly Effective Alkaline Dieters. This was a book I wrote a couple of years ago, and I transformed it into an audiobook as well. So you get both versions. You get an ebook and an MP3 audiobook voiced by me, which is, I sat down and wanted to write out the most simple things that you can do right away to alkalize your body, even without putting anything in your mouth. So irrespective of your diet, these are other simple things, and these are the secrets that not many people will tell you, but it's the things I've been doing for years and they've had quite miraculous effects. So you get a copy of that, which is valued at $47. You get my second bonus, which is my Alkaline Diet 5-day detox. This sells very well. This sells currently for $27. It's a book I have on ClickBank, and it's a 5-day detox. So if you want to kickstart your alkaline diet, this is a perfect way to do it. So this is by having green smoothies and juices and really kind of going quite hardcore for 5 days with the alkaline diet, and I guide you through it and I give you loads of different recipes for juices and smoothies. It's just a really good little guide that's going to help you kickstart your alkaline diet. So yeah, I'm throwing in that for free, but we're still not done. I'm going to throw in, and this is a very limited bonus, and that is a laser targeted 30-minute one-to-one Kickstarter call with me personally to help you succeed. I want to throw this in because I want to help you one-on-one. I want to see you succeed, and I know that by giving you specific help tailored to your situation, then that's going to really dramatically increase the chances of your success with this diet. Because we all have different situations, right? You might be struggling with diabetes, you might have psoriasis, or you might have allergies, or maybe you have nothing like that, but you want to lose weight. Maybe you're underweight and you want to gain some weight. Maybe you're just tired all the time. Whatever your situation, I want to help you personally. So as an added bonus, and this is only for the first 10 people, because obviously my time is limited. I'm busy servicing the rest of my business and writing books and holding events and coaching my other clients. So you do get a chance to have a 30-minute one-to-one call with me when you enroll now. And that's valued at $100. So to recap, here's everything you get. You get the 42-page Alkaline 5 diet guidebook. You get the full color recipe guide. You get the 20-minute video tutorial. You get the attractive and handy infographic. You get access to the private Facebook group. And you get the 3 bonuses. So bonus number 1 is the 11 Habits of Highly Effective Alkaline Dieters, ebook and audiobook. You get the second bonus, which is the Alkaline Diet 5-day detox ebook guide. And the kind of the extra bonus, which is very limited, and that's the 30-minute one-to-one Kickstarter call with me. So that's everything, and you get all of that for $97. So go to the website now, It should be in the chat box as well. I'll hopefully get Dave to put it into the chat box. So yeah, go to that link, and I really look forward to welcoming you into the members area. So remember, you get that huge discount of $100. It's one easy payment of $97 with the 7-day money back guarantee. I do plan to remove those bonuses this week, so Dave will have this up for the next day or so, but bear in mind only the first 10 people will get the one-to-one call with me. So I suggest, if you want to get this, do go and get it now. You've watched this presentation. I'm sure you want to have the peace of mind that you're doing the best thing for your and your family's health, and you know this is excellent value. It's excellent value. $97. That's around about £60, £59 if you're in the UK. It's excellent value, it really is. So take advantage of this discount and the bonuses and the can't lose guarantee. So go to that website, and I want to thank you very much for your time today.
Laura, that's fantastic. And just want to say, guys, if you haven't already done so, make sure you go click the link. I've put it into the chat box a couple of times. Again, like $97 to get access to all these resources that Laura's put together on a member site and her private Facebook group, and all the charts and everything. But not only that, getting a one-to-one, an opportunity of a one-to-one, that alone is worth a few $100s alone, and you can get all of it for $97. So, if you really value your health, which is why you should be on this webinar in the first place, make sure you take advantage of it, because it will not be there forever. As Laura said, she's going to be taking down bonuses in the next few days, so take advantage of it. And Laura, as always, massive over delivery with the content, the tips, the strategies, your own story. It's fantastic to hear it. Just thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation.
Thanks, Dave. Cheers. Yeah, you're welcome. I really enjoyed it, and just glad to be of help. I'm obviously passionate about this stuff, and just want to get this information out. So yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, and like I said at the start, in the intro, that's the thing. You're passionate. It's part of your mission. You want to genuinely help people, like you have. You've helped thousands already, and will continue to do it year in, year out. So just keep it up, because the passion comes across brilliantly throughout the whole presentation.
Thanks, Dave. Want to do some Q&A? We take some questions?
Throughout the presentation, there was a few questions I answered, and there's a few more here I'm going to let yourself answer, because again, it's your time as well. Guys, any questions on the offer as well, put them in. But there's, let's see, a few questions here. What is the best way to remove fluoride from public water system?
Really a few options. A reverse osmosis water machine is probably the best. These typically cost around about, if you're in the UK, about £1,200 on average. But yeah, reverse osmosis will remove heavy metals and other toxins, and will alkalize the water as well. So that's probably the best option. If you want a simpler option, something you can go out and, slightly more affordable at the moment, then bottled water. If you're going to get bottled water, go for mineral water as opposed to spring water. Spring water, the labelling, the laws around labelling of spring water means that spring water is often just tap water, surprisingly, but that's the case. So get mineral water. Bottled water is not the best, especially if it's in plastics, because you've got the BPAs in the plastic, which isn't great for you. But there's varying degrees of things you can do. But I would say reverse osmosis, distilled water is a second option. And then, other alkaline water machines out there as well.
Okay, good, Laura.
Just check as well, just check that you're not in an area where it is fluoridated, because where I am, down in the southwest of the UK, we don't have fluoride in our water, surprisingly. So I will drink the tap water every now and then. So just check with your water board if your water is fluoridated. If it is, I would say, take the steps to avoid it.
Yeah, because that's it. As you said, it's different in different areas. Like someone here is asking about is tap water alkaline?
Generally not, no, surprisingly.
Exactly.
Because of all the chemicals and hormones and things. Tap water's not great these days, unfortunately.
So just reading through a few different
But
things here.
just to finish that, you have to look at it in terms of kind of like a spectrum really. If you're in the moment, if you're wanting a drink and it's a choice of tap water or a Coca-Cola, obviously go for the tap water because it's hugely more alkaline than a soda drink. So if it's a choice of tap water or coffee, or tap water or reverse osmosis alkaline water, the alkaline water is the best, the tap water is in the middle, and the coffee and the soda is down at the far acidic end of the scale. So, you know, you have to be a bit lenient. We have to be flexible, right, in the world we live in, because it may not be always convenient or accessible to get alkaline water. So, yes, choose, if you're out, say, in a pub and you want a glass of water, have a tap water over a soda drink is what I'd say. So yeah, you just need to bear in mind the flexibility and the practicalities of it. But if you can get optimum, then go for it.
Definitely. Like that's it. You pick the best option to suit you, your lifestyle, your budget, and so on. And definitely alkaline water is the ideal way to go. But it's a case of working the best you possibly can.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. In terms of the whole juicing and blending and smoothies and so on, does blending damage food, and if so, how much?
Well, there's a number of people out there who say, well, it kind of damages the structure of the cells and it causes oxidation and of the fruits and things. Look, probably eating fruits and vegetables, organic, ripe, raw fruits and vegetables is always going to be the best option. But again, going back to like the water thing, if it's a choice of blending fruits and vegetables and having it that way or nothing at all, then blend the fruits and vegetables. If it means that, if you've got children and if your children won't eat raw vegetables and won't eat salads, but they'll have a smoothie, then do that, because it's still a greatly alkalizing food source. It's still highly nutritious and it's still far superior to anything that you could cook or anything that you could buy in a package in a supermarket or anything that you could buy in a restaurant. So yes, let's not get too pedantic here. A green smoothie is always going to be one of the best choices you could make for your health as a meal.
Very good. Let's see, and the whole fat situation. Avocados, coconuts, what's your views on them?
Okay, fine, they're good foods in proportion. So think about the 10% rule, which we talked about earlier. I tend to minimize avocados to probably like one every couple of weeks. I used to eat a lot more before I knew what I know now, but they made me feel a bit more sluggish, and you will put on weight by eating the higher fat things. So especially coconuts, if you eat too much coconut, you'll end up putting on fat, and you just don't have that high level of energy. So yeah, they're okay in small proportions. Just work out your calories. So, and it's quite simple to do, but you might have to monitor it for a couple of weeks. Monitor what you eat every day and just work out the fat calories and the protein calories and the carbohydrate calories. If you want a tool to be able to do this, use Chronometer. It's a free online tool. And then just monitor, because if you're finding that you're eating, say, 20 or 30% fat, then you want to be looking to reduce that. So for that period of time when you're reducing your fats to get into balance, you don't want to be adding things like coconuts and avocados. If you're finding that your calories you're eating loads and loads of fruits and vegetables and your fat calories are around about 5 or 8%, then you've got a bit more leeway. Add an avocado here and there. They're obviously good foods. They're plant-based fruits and sources of protein and fat, so that's good, but just in moderation.
Okay, definitely, because like that, just being aware again of your calorie intake, because even if it's a good fat, it still contains, typically 9 calories per gram, so it's still going to all add up. So even if the food is healthy, you still have to watch the quantity, especially when it comes to fat food. So yeah, everything in moderation, exactly like you're saying. Let's see, we'll take one more here. because a few of them I've been able to answer. How important is it to have fruit that is picked ripe, in your opinion?
I think it's very important. If you can get fruit that's picked ripe, it's quite a rarity in this day and age,
Sure.
which is why I'm going over to Thailand in July. I'm going over for a fruit festival, so there'll be an abundance of ripe fruit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the best way to have your fruit, isn't it? Picked ripe. But as a second best, picked unripe and then ripen it at home. So I'm just looking now over at my banana collection. I tend to have, how many have I got? I've probably got about 15 bunches of bananas, of 6 bananas, all at different ripening stages. So there's some slightly green ones, there's some medium ones, and then there's some really brown and spotty ones. And I'll only eat the brown and spotty ones. And if they get overripe, if I find I've got a big stash of really, really ripe bananas, I'll just chop them up and freeze them and then make a banana ice cream smoothie out of them later on. So yes, it's important to eat your fruits when they're ripe. And if you can't always pick them or have them when they're picked ripe, then just ripen them at home. That's fine. They're still going to be getting that full complement of nutrients and sugars when you ripen them at home, almost anyway.
Because that's it, because it's a rarity to see ripe fruits and so on inside in the supermarket. So definitely
It is, isn't it?
Bring it home.
But I do notice that, and I don't know whether this is the case kind of all around the country and in other areas of the world, but I find that at local market type places, so we've got a market where I live, and little kind of greengrocers, they will often sell off fruits that they would consider overripe. So a lot of bananas, I see it really, really cheaply because they literally don't sell. Most people don't want to buy bananas when they're really ripe. So you can buy them up quite cheaply in that way. I know there may be, I don't know whether they're ripened, they've just got overripe on the shelf or whether they've been picked ripe, but either way it's a good way to get reduced price ripe fruit anyway.
Definitely, great tip. And that's true actually, come to think of it, yeah, the kind of local markets, farmers markets, those kind of places. And I suppose as well it's, they know consumers have become conditioned to see, we'll say, fruit and veg, looking attractive, and for a banana
Looking perfect and
yellow,
shiny and
fatty. Yeah, so I suppose that's kind of part of consumerism. But like as I said, it's a great opportunity to get things cheap.
Yeah.
So guys, I've just put the link back in again onto the chat box. You have been sitting on the fence. Basically, it's time to get off it. Get on board if you haven't already. Like I said at the start, it's a mad offer. $97. It's about £59, as Laura said. Euros wise, probably about 70 euros. It's tiny. Getting a one-to-one with Laura alone is worth a few $100s. So considering everything else you're getting on top of that incredible bonus, it really is a no-brainer. So make sure you get on board if you haven't already. Anything else you want to add, Laura, before we wrap it up?
Don't think so, Dave. Yeah, just thanks for being on this webinar. I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's getting quite late where I am. So yeah, I really appreciate you being on here. Dave, thanks for having me on. It's been a real pleasure. And yeah, do go and get this because obviously I want you to get it because I'm selling it to you, but it will really help your health. It really will. And you'll be able to use this as a blueprint into the future. And I really would look forward to connecting with you on a one-to-one call as well. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure as always. And, as I said, it's a bit of a no-brainer. And I know the amount of work that Laura's put in over the years, putting this all together, constantly refining it. Like, this really is your ultimate system. And, Laura's constantly looking at how to keep improving and improving. And she's always there for, her clients and her followers. There's so much for them. So, make sure you do yourself a favor and invest in you because that's the most important thing you can do. Just as well, lots of great comments and feedback as well coming in, Laura. Just praising you for such great information. Really enjoyed tonight's webinar. Thanks a million. People really shocked at the whole meat and dairy side of things, and really seriously considering now making changes, which is great to see. As you know, like I've been vegan since January 2012, so again, like yourself, I'm passionate about spreading the message, and it's just great to see the impact that we can have on people to improve their health.
Yeah, it is.
And as I said, just thanks for being on. Look forward to having you on again, Laura. And everyone, you'll get an email tomorrow with access to the replay page. That will be up for a couple of days. Make sure as well you share that with your family, friends, contacts, anyone you know that needs to hear this information. Just please share that page with them. So check your email tomorrow, and as I said, get the offer. Get in there now. I hope you're one of the first 10 so you can get the one-to-one and the other bonuses. So that's it for this week's Formula for Success show. Look forward to speaking to you again next week. Keep up the good work. Keep taking action. Remember, it's taking action that counts. And thank you again, Laura, for being on with us. And we'll speak to you all again very soon.